Welcome to our vlog. We're really excited for another episode. Today we're going to be asking the question, should a Christian care about how their message is perceived by other people? Last week we handled a little bit of a controversial issue, and so it stirred up a little bit of discussion around here as to what our role should be in caring about how other people hear our message. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, so there's a couple of sides to it. One is that, we've got the truth on our side. We've got God on our side. We need to just deliver it and give the truth out there. The other side of the coin is we're trying to be a good testimony and be a positive influence. We want people to like us. We want them to come to church next Sunday. So we can't be just, turning people off and turning people away. And that's kind of the two sides of the coin of the discussion as I see it.
Jake, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the prophets. I'm studying Amos right now, and in chapter 3, he tells the people of Israel that because you are God's chosen people, you are going to have a stricter judgment. So I'm thinking about the wisdom thing you said. He said, I'm not going to judge the Assyrians as harshly as I'm going to judge you because I've been walking with you all these years, and I took you out of Egypt. And so the message was perceived then that, because you are God's people, you are going to be judged stricter. Jesus said in Matthew 12, he said, all the words that come out of your mouth are going to either condemn you or bring you to righteousness when you have to answer to God. So I think it's a two-sided coin, almost like Joe said, the flip side. So
Right. Well, a couple of scriptures that come to mind in Ephesians chapter 5 and Colossians chapter 4 are also parallel scriptures, but they talk about proceeding wisely. See that you walk wisely toward those who are outside, redeeming the time, making the most of the time. We have limited opportunities to win people to Christ, and we need to be walking wisely. We need to be cautious about what we say. In that Colossians chapter 4, the very next verse moves right into our speech itself. It needs to be with grace, seasoned with salt. We need to give proper answers. So we do need to be cautious about what we say, but then there's the truth side of things as well. And
So how do you weigh out and decide what you should say and how you should say it? Specifically as we put content out online that can be accessed by anybody, people that don't know us personally.
the first thing I'd say is, how we say something is as important as who we say it to. So the fact that it's pre-thought, just like any sermon that any of us preach, we spend sometimes days crafting the right sentence, the right word use, who we're going to say it to. And online, that's a little tougher because we really don't know who's watching this. We have a target audience of our members and people around us. But the fact that, someone's grandma in 3 states over might be looking at this and getting offended, maybe we should think about. However, I think once we, are convicted about how we're going to say something, we prepare that thing. And once we give the truth out, I could give the greatest truth that anyone's ever heard, right? And someone's going to be offended by it. You can't, please everyone, as my mom used to say. Doesn't mean we shouldn't try, right? You think the salt and the truth and the grace and how we should approach people is incredibly important as Christians. At the same time, we live in a world that is so empty of truth that we have to be the truth bearers. We have to be carrying that.
It would be possible to be so full of grace and sweetness that we lose any effectiveness because we don't have any truth to communicate. Jesus said in John 15, he said, the world hates me. And he said, because you've chosen to follow me, the world hates you too. And so it boils down to quite a mix of grace and truth. When that Ephesians 4, verse 15 says to speak the truth in love, man, he was just laying out, we can't, if we're all truth and no love, then we're harsh and judgmental and Christians get accused of that plenty in our culture. But if we're all love and no truth, then we have no content to deliver, and we're the same as any other humanitarian organization. And we've missed out on the stewardship of the gospel that's been entrusted to us.
I think it's fantastic, and that grace and truth. I've heard it said that the gospel is offensive enough. Let's not add to the offense of the gospel.
Okay, that's good.
I think that that's a great way to summarize this discussion. And
Sure.
You said, let everything you say be flavored with grace and truth.
Yeah, Jesus in John 1:14, it says that he was full of grace and truth. And that's something we need to strive to be. We'll never get it right. We'll never know the perfect amount of grace and the perfect amount of truth in any given situation. But that's what I try to think about. And some circumstances I have too much truth, and some circumstances too much grace, and accusations, can be made. But that's our challenge as Christians, is to find that. And certain situations call for more grace, and other ones call for more truth. And working through that, finding that, I guess if we have truth on our side and grace in our hearts, then we need to proceed.
Well, thank you for joining us in our vlog today, connecting life to faith. And that's what we want to encourage you in, to make your faith applicable to your life.